Hey guys, Killer here. We're going to be doing things a little bit differently today in this video. I'd like to start off the video with a deck tech to show you exactly how this deck will be playing out, and then we'll move on into the matches. We're going to be doing one match a day for this channel, so hopefully you guys enjoy it. We're going to start with deck tech, first video of a match, and then move on to the matches throughout the week. But the first deck that we're going to be playing on this channel, the first deck we're going to be playing today is Mono Red Prowess. I like to section off the cards a little bit differently in this deck. Now, there are a couple different reasons I like Mono Red Prowess right now. One is you get to play Blood Moon in your main deck. I think if you are not playing Blood Moon or an incredibly weird and funky mana base to support 3+ colors, I think you're probably doing something wrong, unless you're comboing people out as well. But I wanted to play Blood Moon today, try to punish the 4-color blue players, the Titan players, and some of the combo decks full to Blood Moon as well. So that's why I wanted to try out this deck today. And I'm sectioning off the cards into removal spells slash, just spells, I guess, instant sorceries, the creature package, and then the card advantage. So in the first aisle, we've got, fire bolts, flame slash, darts. Lightning bolts works really well with our prowess creatures. And we've got our 8 prowess creatures, Soulscar Mage, and Monastery Swiftspear. Some builds I know have been playing the 1/1 for 1 that has pseudo prowess through instant sorceries, but I'm not playing that today in lieu of some main deck Blood Moons. Now, the rest of our creature package slash value packages: Bone Crusher Giant and Seasoned Pyromancer. Bone Crusher, a 2 for 1 if you cast both sides. Seasoned Pyromancer, if you have no cards, gets you 2 new fresh cards at no cost once it enters the battlefield. Or you can discard spells slash lands to fix your hand, as well as make some 1/1s. And, for 5 mana, bring some 1/1s back. And we've got Light at the Stage, some more card advantage, and Blood Moon's kind of just to screw your opponent's mana, or hope to screw them. Now, in the sideboard, we've got a Obosh, the Prey-Pissier. I probably butchered that, but we're playing a companion. Obosh is very powerful. If Obosh survives usually a turn cycle, then you usually get to win. And usually you can, trade your spells in times unefficiently just because you know that you have 3 mana draw a card later in the game and a 5-drop that will win you the game. Now, it looks kind of weird. We've got O-Stones and Blast Stones. Mainly these are for the pro-red creatures you're going to be playing out of mono-white Death and Taxes, out of some other white-based decks. Burnington Forge Tender, Core Firewalker, Auriok Champion. And it is also pretty good against Death Shadow. Blast Stone just blowing up some Death Shadows, as well as you can wait a turn, blow up some Scourge of the Skyclays. Those Scourge is usually not that great against you because you don't take damage from your lands, so it's hard for them to land it early. You've got Relic of Progenitus for graveyard-based decks, either Tarmogoyfs in mid-range, or combo-based decks like Utsal Spells, Dredge, or some other graveyard decks. And as well good against Uro because, deals with the graveyard, and once you're done with dealing with the graveyard, draw a card. And finally, we've got 4 Shattering Sprees. Not many artifact decks out there right now, but if you play against Chalice of Void and you don't have Shattering Spree, your deck is basically non-functional as you have 24 1-drops. So it is kind of a necessary evil to play, I believe. You could play a card like a Braid, but then you have to give up Obosh, so we're playing a slightly more narrow sideboard card just because if you run into Chalice or some artifact-based decks, Shattering Spree is the best it gets. So that's the intro. That's the deck tech that I'm giving you guys today. Expect to have these more with the videos that I will be posting to this channel, and expect to see channel updates, Monday through Friday, and I will see you guys in match 1. Okay, we're here for round 1, playing Mono Red Prowess, as I have said. We seem to be playing as another player who also has a companion, as they have not instantly had their hand to be kept, so we'll see if they're a Lurrus gamer, which they happen to be. Against Lurrus, Flame Slash is usually fine to good. We've got a Prowess creature, we've got card advantage, we've got Dart slash Pyromancer, and 2 lands, so looks like a keep to me. In the case that our Soulscar Mage dies, we still get to have a Lava Dart plus Light Up the Stage to set up getting card advantage and being able to play more spells down the line. If we draw a 3rd land, we can make an argument for not casting the Dart slash Light Up the Stage, setting up for Seasoned Pyromancer the next turn, but we'll have to see exactly what type of Lurrus deck our opponent's on. It seems that they're on Shadow of some variant. Very good for us that they're playing Swiftspear. They lit on the Bauble as well. I would have had to make a hard decision if I wanted to block or not if they just attacked in because of mutagenic growth. Now I have to just take my beats here because I'm not going to chump away my Soulscar Mage. Sucks because it'll allow them to get Scourge of the Skyclays down, but my plan right now is to Flame Slash the Swift Spear and then light up the stage. Blood Moon, surprisingly good against these Lyris decks. I'm going to go with Flame Slash here, then light up the stage, hopefully hitting a third land drop. And if we don't hit the third land drop there, hopefully we can find something that can get us to a third land drop. And if we don't from that, and we don't find one in our draw step, it is going to be a little bit difficult to win this game. But no third land, that is a problem. I would have liked to be able to just play Blood Moon off of a land there, and potentially be willing to give away the extra card. But now we have to decide exactly how we're going to play our spells, depending on if we draw a land next turn or not. So, they fetched Swamp. Okay. So, them fetching Swamp means that our Blood Moon is not so good. They're probably going to take our Seasoned Pyromancer then. Drawing a land next turn is actually not that bad, because we'll be able to Bone Crusher Giant. Looks like we got a sub. I forgot to turn off the notifications for the YouTube video. We got a YouTube sub there. So we did hit a land. They decided to go get Swamp. It's an interesting spot. We need to figure out exactly how we're going to deal with their life total. This makes me think that I want to go for just shooting their face with my Bone Crusher Giant and the Bolt. Puts them down to 11, and puts them down to 8, and puts them down to 5. It's not great if they have, like, Death Shadow. But, like, we're going to be in a rough spot against Death Shadow anyways. And we have the potential of just drawing, like, another Bolt. And I feel like the Swift Spear is not going to make that much of a difference here in us winning or losing. And I don't think that they have a removal spell, because I think they would have used that instead of the Thoughtseize. They did decide to go get Swamp, which seems kind of weird to me when they're going to Thoughtseize and they need to get a Death Shadow down. So it makes me think that they don't have a Death Shadow, but instead potentially have Scourge. In which case the Scourge is interesting. But they're fetching here. Wow, okay. Double Swamp in their deck. Makes me think I don't want to have Blood Moon in my deck. Oh, they had double Death Shadow. Okay, that punished me pretty hard. Okay, well, they had exactly what I didn't think they had in their hand. Now, so Lightning Bolt, Lava Dart, Firebolt wins here. Yep. Yeah, I think we have to play Bone Crusher Giant, and if they happen to have, like, TBR or a removal spell that kills it, you know, that's life. I didn't think that they would have this combo with them just fetching Swamp. But maybe they thought that I would just shoot them with all my burn spells. But it ended up working out very well for them. So I guess once they saw the light at the stage of the burn spells, they could just make the move like they did. Okay, I'm going to ditch Blood Moon as it's the card that I cared about the least. I'm never casting that spell. Though Fatal Push now is lethal because of how the Croxa. Smart of them to attack like this. Not attack with the Swift Spear. Okay, we have lots of draws here that win the game. Let's see if we hit. That is one of them. Cast Stomp, targeting them. Cast Lava Dart, targeting them. Sacrifice a mountain, and win the game. If they had Cling to Dust, it would have been brutal, but I'm not going to play around Cling to Dust as their last card in hand. So, let us try this out. The Blast Zones, the Oblivion Stones. The Blood Moons seem actually a little bit sketchy here. I would have actually liked Blood Moon against them, but they showed me Double Swamp, which is really weird to see. Not something that I'm used to. Now we have the decision. What I usually have been doing was cutting both of these lands, especially against the Death Shadow deck with Scourges. I really don't want to take life damage off my own lands because it makes the Scourge good. And I feel like with adding the 4 lands, we can still cast our Bone Crushers, our Seasoned Pyromancer, and light up the stages even more consistently now. Makes some hands a little bit awkward because we are definitely red heavy on the 1-drops, but I still think it's correct to do this. Because, like, going up to 24 lands makes it so you flood out a little bit more. I want to keep this hand, but it is bad, so I'm going to mulligan. I mean, I'm going to keep this hand. This hand looks a lot better. I feel like a removal spell rather than a Soulscar Maze that's not necessarily going to do anything, and makes it so they get closer to Death Shadows that I can't necessarily deal with because I don't have a Blast Zone. But with this hand, since we do have a Blast Zone, it's basically a 3rd spell, so we're essentially on 4 lands, 3 spells. So it's like essentially a mulligan to 7 if you think about it. Though there's a weird way to think about it, to say the least. I'm gonna Flame Slash this even though we do have the Blast Zone, because I do still want to stem the bleeding from a potential Scourge that could happen. A Scourge next turn would be kind of brutal if we don't draw anything to deal with it, but I think we're kind of forced into Flame Slashing this. However much I do not really want to do it. Because we have lots of draws that can just deal with a Scourge if they just play it and don't deal any extra damage to me. Position. Okay, they take my light up the stage. Play Soulscar Mage. Mountain. Pass the turn. Now a card that would be really brutal for us here is Kroxa. Basically every other card I don't feel that bad playing against. Kroxa would be a problem though, because Bomat Courier? Sure, I could care less about Bomat Courier. Now we just need to find a removal spell for it. I do care about it a little bit, but I've got lots of ways to deal with it. Just need, if I find a removal spell, hopefully it's like a Lava Dart I can use an instant speed. Perfect. Exactly what I wanted to see. I'm going to play the Blast Zone now to make it so I'm not in any weird situations where I have to discard all my lands. I could just start it right now, but I think that that is a little bit loose rather than just doing it in their draw step. Start now. That was basically the perfect card I could ask for. It sucks if they drew exactly mutagenic growth, so maybe doing that's a little bit too like aggressive, especially when they fetch for the swamp. So I'm not quite sure. Seal of Fire here. No cards in hand. They go get their Luris, which is a bit of a problem since we don't actually have an answer to the Luris right now. But if they just Luris and then like play Bomat Courier, it's actually not that bad for us because we do have the Dart, so we could just play Obosh and then Lava Dart the Luris. Be fine. I don't see a reason to play the Swift Spear here because it's just going to eat the Seal of Fire, and I don't want to have to use the Dart to save it. Whereas later I can make it so I can play through the Seal of Fire with a potential drawn instant speed spell. It's weird that they're playing Luris into this. I guess they don't really have a choice. Wow, they went for Swift Spear over the Bomat Courier. That's interesting. Did not expect to see that. But I'm going to play Obosh here and just main phase the Dart. Makes it so that I don't have to play through a Dismember or anything like that. Sucks if they drew exactly like Unearth in their last 2 draws, but that's life. They could have also drawn a Bolt and been able to Seal Fire plus Bolt, so don't want to have to play through either of those. Another Swift Spear here. They did draw Bolt. Okay. That's fine. We have the Blast Zone to deal with this. And they have no cards in hand, so just drawing like a land here would be fine. Bolt, perfectly fine as well. But since we don't need 5 mana anymore, because we've done with our Obosh, we can just Blast Zone their board and then set up with our Swift Spear, light up stage, and Bolt, and we're just miles ahead. Now, especially since they've drawn that, it's just perfect for us. Just Blast Zone them. And then we have Swift Spear, Bolt, light up stage, put them low this turn, set up for a kill next turn. Even more gas with Seasoned Pyromancer. You'll have to see it. They could draw like Death Shadow, but I'm not too worried about that because I still have like lots of things to just beat that as well. Flame Slash, not bad. Makes it so a lot of their draws aren't that great next turn. We can even kill next turn by going Dart, Dart, then Flame Slash our own Swift Spear, which we don't need to do for extra prowess points, but just the darts would have done. But we ended up getting a 2-0 there. I usually don't think the Death Shadow matchup should go that smoothly. It felt like it went really, really smooth. Game 2. Game 1 was a little dicey there, top deck to get there in the last turn, but a win is a win, and I hope you guys liked the video. If you really liked it, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Twitch and Twitter in the description below, and I'll see you guys on the next round. Bye-bye.